Welcome back to the pregame. Time now for our Hodge Construction Assistant Coach Minute. And this week we have Matt Hills, head fresh soft coach for the Bears. And Hillsy, I know I always ask you this. How many years now have you been in the head spot here for the fresh soft team?
This will be year 3 for head.
Okay, year 3 for head. And before that, you've been involved in various ways for several more years beyond that. Right. So you're one of them seasoned vets that knows what's going on here with the program. Talk a little bit, though, about what it is that you focus on, what you try to do with that fresh soft team to prepare these guys to be better football players.
So you kind of answered it for me there. The first thing that we do, our number one priority is preparation. And not just game preparation for the fresh soft side, but preparing these guys for varsity. So whether that means terminology or, running the actual plays or schemes that varsity runs, our goal is that on any given day, we could be Tuesday in practice and Butch could say, hey, we need that guy, and that guy's ready to go and ready to roll with varsity, so he needs to be up to speed on that. So that's really our number one priority is development, and number 2 is prepping for our games, and so far this year we've done a good job with that.
Well, you got the win last week, so that's always a good way to start things off. We'll come back to some of the things you do prep-wise, but talk a little bit about that schedule stuff, and it gets thrown around so much with small schools, and you have times where you play a game in a week, same night as the varsity. Sometimes you play 2 games in a week, complete opposite nights. How hard is that to try to keep these guys focused and ready?
Right. Well, on one hand, it certainly isn't easy on my scheduling, when I'm deleting things out of my phone and adding them and moving everything around. But no, to your point, the scheduling changes based on other teams and what they have. Of course, from week to week, that could change based on injuries. So we're moving games around. In fact, we just had 2 changes this week. We're moving our Williamsburg game up to a Thursday instead of a Friday night. Same thing with Beckman at the end of the season, moving to a Thursday night. And I see a couple other changes coming in there. I know one program in our district that may not field a fresh soft team at all. So we may be looking for another week a 9th opponent there. But that's to your point, game scheduling, but also in practice. We're prepping for varsity as well. And so, for example, we go through a varsity practice. Not only do we have to prepare for our fresh soft offense, defense, special teams, and all of our tech work, but we're also engaged with the varsity. And, we'll go out there and roll our guys. Our first team offense might roll in with doing scout team for Wapello. So we're really serving 2 roles on the practice field as well. So juggling that schedule is definitely my staff. We work with that every day, and sometimes it's frustrating, but it's also very satisfying to see those fresh soft guys move up and perform well on the varsity.
How much work do you do with maybe some of the middle school coaches, the varsity coaches, and kind of talking about, here's guys that need to be this position, that position, here's how we're going to build them through junior high up to that varsity rank?
Yeah, so obviously with the varsity coaches, we're working every day on what guys we can develop, where we can fill holes, moving guys up. And one example would be Peyton Miller. I think one key to Peyton Miller's success was he showed up in the offseason. And not only did he show up in the offseason, but he knew what he was doing. So I think it was actually a varsity 7-on-7 he showed up to, and he performed really well and earned a spot on varsity. And you never really earn a spot till you play, but I think Friday night, I think he proved that he belongs there. So we've got guys like that, and we have guys that we're using both sides of the ball. I think Drake Berry's going to play with us on Monday. He's been on the varsity squad, but now that we got a Friday-Monday game, he's going to come down. And I can't say enough about our junior high coaches. We have, in my opinion, the best junior high staff in the state of Iowa. When you've got guys like Randy Sexton and Jared Tylee running the show down there, it makes our work a lot easier up here when the guys already know what their blocking schemes are and some of those things.
All right, well, a lot of other things. I'm sure we could talk for hours, but we got a game coming up here tonight we got to get to. Hillsy, thanks very much. Best of luck all season.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate
that is Matt Hills, tonight's Hodge Construction Assistant Coach Minute. Back with more of the pregame. You're listening to the Bearcast at westbranchfootball.com.